improve our balance sheet, and we believe that we should be able to finance future projects from our own internally generated revenue. As we are talking, we have about 400 megawatts of steam that is capped, and the CS Energy is very concerned about that energy being converted in, that steam being converted into energy. And we have assured them that we are going to be doing that in a short while. We have innovative ideas, we have projects that are lined up, and also we have the wellhead, which we will hope that be able to use those, the technology of the wellhead to convert some of that steam into energy much faster. So ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to take a lot of your time. I want to invite the CS Energy to come and make his remarks. Welcome, Bwana Charles.
Thank you, the Chair, KenGen Board, our guest of honor, the CS National Treasury, Henry Rotich, our Principal Secretary, Ministry of Energy, Engineer Joseph Njoroge, Principal Secretary, Ministry of Energy in charge of Petroleum, Andrew Kamau, the directors of KenGen, the CEO KenGen, all the invited guests, good morning. I'm indeed happy this morning to join you for the launch of the KenGen rights issue. As the chair said, we have conspired while we were seated there. When I looked at my speech, it was about 10 pages. And I looked at the chief guest speech, about 15 pages. And when the CEO of KenGen explained when he was making his speech, literally he has explained what is contained in 3/4 of my speech. And also, we are also on an advantage because the CS National Treasury, who is a chief guest, happened to have served in this Ministry of Energy. And he's the one who started this right issue. He knows better than I. And therefore, we've agreed that instead of me making my 10-page speech, he rather combine that with this so that he can make a 20-page speech. But I want to make some few comments by saying that we are keen in modernizing the energy system by going into renewables. I think as a country, that is the direction we are going in. And as you are aware, we have put in place a lot of mechanism in terms of the feed-in tariffs, which will really enhance the geothermal, the solar, wind, etc. They are there, and we are trying to fast track because that is the direction we are going in as a government. The KPLC also will be able to sign the long-term power purchase agreement with investors to promote the development of the renewable energy. As we go further from where I sit, we need to be very innovative in terms of financing. And that is the direction we want to take. We want so that we don't need to rely very much on the exchequer. We want to rely very much on the private public participation. And that is the direction as a government we are going in, so that we want to encourage the private investors to come in to the development of this sector in terms of the geothermal, etc., and the solar and the wind. Therefore, the Ministry of Energy will continue to work closely with the National Treasury, the private sector, to facilitate and accelerate the development of geothermal. As you have been told, currently we are number 8. You see the leading one is US with about 3,500. We are coming in 8 with about 600 plus. but the potential is about 10,000. Therefore, to unlock that, we really have to open up to the private sector participation. And that is why we will come in to provide the necessary environment in terms of the policy direction. Therefore, I want to end my speech. I had said I would not make a speech because I will find myself repeating myself, but to the KenGen, I wish you all the best. To the investors who are here, I wish you all the best. I look forward to working together. It's now my pleasure to invite our chief guest, the CS National Treasury, Henry Rotich. Welcome.
My colleague, CS Minister of Energy and Petroleum, Honorable Charles Kittel, Principal Secretaries present, the Chairman and Directors of the Capital Markets Authority, Chairman and Directors of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, the KenGen Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yeah, it's true we have been conspiring in that table to rationalize our speeches, but I want to start with a disclaimer that it is not a 20-page speech. It is exactly 3.5 pages, double-spaced. So let me assure you that I'll not take most of your time. So let me start by saying that it gives me a great pleasure to join you this morning to launch the KenGen rights issue. When the government offered 30% of its shares in KenGen to the public through an initial public offer some 10 years ago, it had as one of its objectives a desire for KenGen to be able to raise capital through the capital markets. I'm pleased to note that these objectives has indeed been met. In 2009, KenGen raised some 25 billion Kenya shillings through its first public infrastructure bond, the first such bond by a state corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, KenGen is returning to the market today to raise an additional 28.8 billion through a rights issue for investment in various energy generation projects. I commend the KenGen Board of Directors and Management for seeking market solutions for its funding needs. The government, through KenGen, is committed to expanding power generation capacity to meet the needs of our economy and transform Kenya into an industrial economy by 2030. For this reason, and in order to support KenGen's energy generation growth, the government will take up its rights value at about 20.2 billion through a debt equity conversion. This will not only relieve the company of its debt repayment obligation, but it will also give it headroom for additional debt as and when is required. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is fully committed to continually improve the investment climate through formulation of sound fiscal and monetary policies that support growth in investment. In this regard, we remain fully focused on maintaining macroeconomic stability. My message to investors this morning, therefore, is that they should see this market as a good home for their investments and continue to invest with confidence. Turning to this rights issue, the timing of the offer couldn't be better, coming as it does on the heels of the company's good financial performance, where its half-year total revenue increased by 52% to 18.2 billion in December 2015, up from 12.1 billion in December 2014. This good performance should reaffirm the investors' confidence as they review their investment opportunity. You will recall that in the past decade, the country has grappled with the challenge of unreliable, expensive, and unsustainable energy, leading to a stagnating industrial and manufacturing base. This has been due to aging energy infrastructure. To address these challenges, the government has formulated strategies whose objectives are to rapidly expand power generation capacity, enhance and upgrade the transmission and distribution network, and develop renewable and green sources of energy like geothermal, solar, wind, biomass, and small hydropower. In this regard, I'm pleased to note with satisfaction that the partnership deal between KenGen and the Power Africa initiatives in March 2016. This will see the company implement a holistic plan to achieve its goal of bridging online 2,500 megawatts of power over the next 10 years. I'm informed that through this partnership, the company plans to increase generation capacity and develop new project structures and optimal frameworks to support efficient financing and development and project development. The partnership underscores the company's standing in this region and its commitment to improve operational efficiency and effectiveness and implement international best practice for renewable energy projects with focus on geothermal, which is abundantly available in Kenya. We are conscious of the fact that energy costs in Kenya are currently higher than its competitors. It's for this reason that the government is committed to prioritizing the development of affordable energy and increasing efficiency in energy consumption. This will be achieved through continued institutional reforms in the energy sector, including the strengthening of the regulatory framework and the licensing of more players in power distribution. In addition, the government is encouraging use of energy-efficient equipment, as well as securing more reliable and cheaper sources of energy. Ultimately, our goal is to reduce the cost of doing business in Kenya. So once again, let me take this opportunity to assure you, the investors, of the government's commitment to support the energy sector. I call upon you to play your part in ensuring the success of this issue by taking up your rights, be part of KenGen's success story, and help propel Kenya to the next level of economic development. With those very, very few remarks, I now declare the KenGen rights issue officially launched. Thank you very much.